Hey there, gang. Last week we told you about Oklahoma House Bill 2426, a very highly controversial severe weather bill that potentially endangers storm chasers and the public. The bill is being supported by Oklahoma City TV stations, namely News 9, owned by Griffin Media. Virtually everybody else opposes the bill. That includes Oklahoma Highway Patrol, the Oklahoma Department of Public Safety, and lots of local police and fire departments across the state of Oklahoma, and almost every other storm chaser in the field. The bill is designed to let News 9 storm chasers and other TV chasers ignore road laws, like when News 9 barrels the wrong way down the road, blocks and/or impedes traffic, flies down the road well above the speed limit, or blows through stop signs. Make no mistake, this bill could endanger other storm chasers and the public. The bill would exempt only TV chasers from most traffic laws. Historically, emboldening TV chasers to do whatever they want in the roadways hasn't always ended well. One of the most vocal supporters of this bill was storm chaser Adam McAdoo. He wrote that the bill is just designed to give legacy media chasers some, quote, extra privileges. He doubled down in early February, arguing that ignoring road rules was just part of, quote, certain rights that media chasers would be entitled to. Let me be perfectly clear. Blowing through a stop sign is not a right. McAdoo was a media chaser for News 8 in Oklahoma City. If this bill had come to pass while he was employed there, the bill would essentially have allowed him to act as an emergency vehicle and ignore traffic rules. Simply stated, allowing a small subset of people to drive in a potentially deadly way could have potentially deadly consequences. Now, News 9 was at the Oklahoma State Capitol on Thursday. David Payne, the chief meteorologist, was serving as an expert weather witness for the bill that his station most directly benefits from. Those benefits for his station potentially come at the expense of public safety for anyone who drives on Oklahoma roadways, and anyone who consumes weather information in a way that's not legacy television.
Does it to you seem like a conflict of interest that the expert witness, if you will, for weather and meteorology is the chief meteorologist at News 9?
Yeah, that was actually one of the biggest issues I think I had as being a professional storm chaser in the building. Bringing up the weather expert as somebody who was directly benefiting from this bill was very much a conflict of interest, in my opinion, because you didn't get both sides of the bill being pushed to these representatives. And a lot of these representatives don't even understand the full bill.
Eric Fox is the president of the National Storm Chaser Summit. He was at the State House on Thursday as the bill was being voted on.
It bothers me tremendously, honestly. I think that's when I flipped today, because I'm like, I took it under the merit of it was a public safety bill. Come to find out, when David was there and then gave him the speech, it was clear to me where this started. It was clear to me the people that's associated with him who have political capital in Oklahoma was the one pushing this bill through David.
We were told that we weren't going to have any opportunity to speak as experts. And so when he was called up as an expert to talk about the bill and basically represent the whole chasing community, it felt like it was a conflict of interest.
Now, we can't confirm where the idea for the bill actually came from, but most folks have the same underlying hunch.
All I know is there's a room full of people that is clearly with that entity, but I'm not really sure, because I don't know, and I don't want to state anything that's not factual.
There is a growing sense that this is a TV media pushed bill. I'm wondering if they approached our representatives and started pushing for this issue.
David Payne went on to discuss the problems with storm chaser convergence, which at times can be inconvenient and or problematic. I agree there.
The problem has become that the roads are so jammed full of vehicles. And again, this ranges from mom and pop just rolling out of their house, want to go see a tornado, to weather enthusiasts, to hobbyists, to researchers, to people streaming on multiple channels. And again, we don't have a problem with any of that.
But spoiler alert, he does have a problem with that.
If my men and women can get through, we have problems. We are the number one outlet for weather warnings in Oklahoma to keep people safe. Number one.
Sometimes there are simply other cars on the road. In most cases, it's pretty easy to avoid traffic.
There's other people on the road. That's fine. Well, then chase better. Learn how to chase better where you don't put yourselves in that position.
No single outlet is entitled to the best view simply by cutting corners and breaking traffic laws. This isn't a movie theater. You can't pay to jump the line and get the best front row seats. If you want the best view, you have to earn it through skill, forethought, and hard work.
Because if you're going that fast and having the speed to get to a target or having to go through stop signs to get to a target, you need to reevaluate what you're doing probably 4 hours before that, or 2 hours before that, or evaluate, are you a qualified person to be there?
If you position yourself on the storm correctly, you don't necessarily have the conga line issue. A lot of the people in that conga line is the general public trying to get out of those areas, and the chasers do end up getting caught in that line, allowing their trackers to basically pass on double yellows and fly around people who are already, in a sense, panicking because of the weather. Is not only it's going to discredit the public safety, in my opinion, and I think it's going to actually make storm chasing way more dangerous on the roads in Oklahoma.
It seems to favor them and allow them to try and cut in line. I think they really want to get an advantage. It's kind of seems like there's a lot of conflict and emotional tension between the TV media and the independent media contractors.
That's sort of what this entire bill boils down to. TV simply is no longer the #1 source from which weather information is consumed. Weather apps are #1. YouTube live streams and social media occupy a large piece of the puzzle as well. Giving legacy television media a pass to jump the line potentially favors a monopoly that could threaten and endanger other outlets. And more importantly, it endangers the viewers who rely on those outlets for a source of critical weather information.
Listen, this is not a shot on Channel 9, any of the local stations, or David Payne. They're great people. Lovers of weather. But the problem is they're not thinking outside the box more than themselves. They're only looking at the near target, not the overall target.
It's 2025. People consume weather information via more ways than just traditional television. And I say this as somebody who began his career in broadcasting in television.
They've kind of latched on to the idea that Oklahomans only watch local Oklahoma TV.
And we know that's just not the case. Now, Jordan, Eric, and Sierra were at the Oklahoma State House during the hearing on Thursday.
We heard them talk about a lot of bills before they got to the storm chaser bill, and by far the chaser bill got everybody the most passionate and heated.
Jordan Hall actually sat down with David Payne and lawmakers after the hearing.
I actually had an interaction with David Payne today. We had a very good conversation. It was a little heated at times. He didn't really understand who I am, and he was discrediting the independent side of things.
From what I'm told, a little heated is a bit of an understatement, but Jordan is very classy, he always is. Notably absent from the hearing was any opportunity for non-TV outlets to speak.
It feels like they're a little out of touch and they didn't communicate with actual chasers as much as they needed to. No, I don't get the sense that they are very in tune with the day-to-day activities and jobs of chasers.
Now, Eric Fox has spent days, if not weeks, working with politicians to negotiate elements of this bill and educate the politicians on what storm chasing is and who it serves.
We were absolutely able to, that day, start helping with the bill and change some things. I had a follow-up meeting last week with them, continued to change those things. And I was like, okay, look, this is not going to harm anybody.
He was told initially there would be a compromise, but then there wasn't.
So we get in all these meetings and I'm thinking this is going to be very positive until last night. And then last night, I get handed the new bill beforehand and I'm like, this is nothing that we went over. There's nothing in here that we talked about. I lost it. I was like, I'm done. I'm not backing this bill. This is not okay.
This caught much of the storm chase community off guard.
And so when the bill got released last night, I was slapped across the face. Reed was slapped across the face. And everybody who had any input in this bill was slapped across the face because it was not what we were expecting, because we had all spent hours up there trying to make this right.
So where does the bill stand right now?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First things first, just so everybody knows, I will be striking title on the bill when we go to the floor, since we can't do it in committee.
In Oklahoma, every bill has to have a concise statement at the top that summarizes it. It's called the title. If the bill won't pass or more time is needed, you strike that paragraph, aka the title. Then the bill isn't compliant with the Oklahoma Constitution. That buys more time to go back and rework it without forcing a vote.
The House and the Senate have to agree to a new form of the bill to add the title back. So there's going to be some debate, dialogue.
In the meantime, Eric Fox is spearheading an effort to get everybody together in a room to discuss in a non-heated way away from this bill, just to get folks on the same page. And to me, that sounds like a good outcome. For now, however, this bill likely will come back and could threaten public safety.
Local Oklahomans that have no idea this bill is even getting pushed need to be made aware of it, because it's their public safety that's on the line.
Follow MyRadar on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Download MyRadar on iOS, Android, Amazon Alexa, and Windows.